Imagine a 6-year-old girl robbed of her innocence in the most horrific way possible. Today in court, a 28-year-old man stands before the judge after pleading guilty to indecency with a child. The details are devastating. An STI transmitted to a first grader, years of trauma, and a mother fighting for justice. This is one of the most disturbing cases you'll hear. Stay locked in, because the arguments, the defendant's own words, and the final sentence will leave you speechless.
Why are you kissing a 6-year-old with your tongue? Why are you penetrating a 6-year-old with your penis? I'm trying to figure out what were your thought process when you were penetrating a 6-year-old with your penis in the vagina and anus?
I'll prove to you, and also I'll prove to my brother that's back there and my mom also.
What were you thinking while you were doing it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. R6589, State of Texas versus Jonathan Rodriguez. All right, are you Mr. Rodriguez?
No.
Are there going to be any witnesses or just argument?
Just argument.
All right. Mr. Rodriguez, you entered a plea to indecency with a child. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 15, and there's to be no contact with the complainant and Chapter 62 registration. The state is opposed to your application, state?
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm to proceed with argument, correct?
Yes.
I didn't want to assume anything. So based on the offense stated, if you look at the child's date of birth compared to the defendant's date of birth, the child was 6.
Listen to these numbers. A 6-year-old victim versus a 28-year-old defendant. That's not just a crime. It's a horrifying abuse of power. And it gets worse. The child tested positive for chlamydia in both her vagina and anus. A 6-year-old. The prosecutor is absolutely right. How does a child contract an STI other than through sexual abuse? This case isn't just aggravated. It's the kind that makes you question everything about human nature.
This case is even more aggravated in the fact that this child, when she went and had her SANE exam, the fact that she had a SANE exam is terrible in itself. But as a result of that, she tested positive for chlamydia in both her anus and in her vagina. What's contained in the STIPs, and I believe the court can consider, is that this child said that penetrated her anus and her vagina. And so it's clear what other way other than some sexual act by somebody does a child get this? And so these cases are already egregious in the nature that we have a child victim whose innocence has been stolen from them. But what's even more aggravating is the age difference that this child was 6 years old at the time of the offense. And what's even more aggravating is the fact that this defendant, presumably, all the evidence suggests that he is the one who caused her to have an STI at the age of 6, maybe 7 at the time of her outcry. And so we are asking, and I believe justice demands that you deny his application for deferred adjudication, and that we ask that you sentence him to the full 15 years.
The defense says these cases almost always involve aggravated facts. That may be true, but does that make this one any less monstrous? They're asking for deferred adjudication and a shot at redemption for a first-time offender. But when the victim was 6, and the damage includes a lifelong STI, is no prior record really enough to justify mercy? What do you think? Should first-time child predators get another chance?
All right, defense?
Your Honor, obviously these are aggravated facts, but these cases almost always involve aggravated facts. And I think, Judge, what is going to determine how this case goes is whether or not the court believes that my client is worthy of redemption, and I would say that he is. I am asking that you put him on deferred adjudication.
The defendant takes the stand and says he doesn't remember kissing the 6-year-old with his tongue or the sexual acts. He pled guilty, yet claims memory loss. This is the same man who just promised to prove himself to his family. The cognitive dissonance is staggering. How do you plead guilty to penetrating a child and then say you don't remember? The judge is clearly not buying it.
Notwithstanding the horrible mistake that he made, he has no criminal history. He's never been convicted of a felony. He's never done time in prison. He's never done time in county jail. This is his first offense, and it is a horrendous offense. But the fact remains he has no criminal history whatsoever. Um, Further, Your Honor, if there is deferred adjudication, as the court knows, the court would not be limited to the sentencing range that it's limited today in the event that Mr. Rodriguez were to violate his deferred adjudication. Mr. Rodriguez at that point would be facing the maximum, which I think gives him incentive to behave himself while on deferred adjudication. Also on deferred adjudication, the court can order the treatment that he needs in order to rehabilitate himself. And the court could also order conditions to protect the complainant from the defendant. I'm asking, Your Honor, that you put him on deferred adjudication. This is a horrendous thing. There's not really anything I could say about that. But the fact is, I think he's worthy of saving. He has no criminal history. And I do think that I do think that he could right the ship, so to speak, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say?
Um,
Can you raise your right hand for me?
yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand. So before you decide to testify, if you decide to testify, the state, of course, is allowed to cross-examine you. Do you still wish to testify?
If I ask you questions, he can ask you questions too. You have to answer. Okay.
All right, what would you like to say?
No, about the probation, if you do give it to me, you know what I mean?
All right, I thought you wanted to say something about the actual
Oh,
allegations.
no. I was gonna say about the probation. You know, if you do give it to me, I promise, Your Honor, that I'll prove to you, and also I'll prove to my brother that's back there and my mom also. And
Why are you kissing a 6-year-old with your tongue? That's what I'd like to know.
why am I kissing a
A 6-year-old with your tongue. I read all of the PSI reports.
I don't remember doing that, Your Honor.
Why are you penetrating a 6-year-old with your penis? I mean, you pled guilty to it.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm trying to figure out what were your thought process when you were penetrating a 6-year-old with your penis in the vagina and anus?
It was, I know I messed up and, you know.
Well, no, my question is why? What were you thinking while you were doing it? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I just called it in. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I mean, I'm just asking questions.
All right.
All right, defense? Any questions?
No, Your Honor. As the court sees, there's what can he say for this? It's horrendous. I just asked the court to show mercy.
All right, any questions?
I think you said enough, Judge.
After hearing everything, the STI evidence, the age gap, the defendant's weak responses, the judge makes the call. 15 years in prison. No deferred adjudication. Justice delivered. The defense wanted redemption. The court chose protection for society and accountability for the victim. Today we witnessed a heartbreaking but necessary moment in court. A man who sexually abused a 6-year-old child, transmitted a serious STI, and showed little genuine remorse, received the maximum 15-year sentence under the plea agreement. The judge prioritized the lifelong trauma inflicted on an innocent child over the defendant's claims of being redeemable. Cases like this remind us how precious childhood innocence is and how devastating its loss can be.